Hello, everybody. So today I'm going to teach you again about the comparison and contrast essay writing. I found that you have a problem with comparison and contrast writing, and some students wrote assignment with a very short paragraph and yeah, of course, a few students have got to write good ones, so it's okay for them. So now I hope that I just try to remind you, and I hope you can get some important point on how to write compare and contrast essay. Okay, let us take a look again, right? Uh, how to develop a thesis statement. So the first paragraph of a composition contains a thesis statement which present the main idea. So the remaining paragraph each have a single focus expressed in a topic sentence that develop the thesis statement. Okay, so now let us try to discuss part B. Each part of other paragraph with the phrase below that best summarizes its focus. And so let us say number one, we call introduction. So in introduction, it contains general statement and thesis statement, okay? So general statement begin with the introduction from the author, and then come to at the end of the introduction is the thesis statement. Focus on the main idea, uh, which are going to be used in the body. So this one, why we have a close friendship? Why? Okay, why we have a close friendship and what we have in common. This is we focus on similarity. Yes, អ្វីដែលវាស្តៀងគ្នាបាទ and how we are different ហើយមួយចុងក្រោយនេះគឺយើងសំដៅទៅលើ differences អូខេភាពផ្សេងគ្នារវាងមិត្តទាំងពីរនាក់ហ្នឹង Okay, let us move ជឿគិតថាប្រសិនបើយើងសិក្សាពី sample essay writing ហ្នឹងយើងនឹងយល់របៀបសរសេរពី compare and contrast essay បានឥឡូវយើងសាកកលេចមើលទាំងអស់គ្នា My best friend Eva and I are different in many ways, but we have one important thing in common. We love to travel. Whenever I have the urge to explore a new place, I can always count on Eva to go with me. Our friendship show that people who are very different can still have similar interests. Okay, so you see the word different are very different, can still have similar interests. So this one we call general statement, okay, from my best friend Eva and I until count on Eva to go with me. This one we call general statement. And the last one, the author tried to end his introduction with the thesis statement. Our friendship shows that people who are very different can still have similar interests. So paragraph number 3, we will hear from the author, from the writer about the differences and similarity. Okay, now let's get started. The differences between Eva and me are significant. So this one we call topic sentence, okay? The topic sentence of the body paragraph. Yeah. Eva is an artist who loves to take photographs and draw pictures of an interesting thing she sees. I am a marketing representative for a pharmaceutical company and spend a lot of time estimating sales figures. Eva is a very impulsive person and I am very organized. She's very quiet, but I am very talkative person who enjoy telling stories. So this is the differences between Eva and me, right? Me refer to the author. And so now move to the next paragraph. Eva and I are both adventurous and love traveling. So this is the similarity. យើងមើលភាពផ្សេងគ្នា paragraph ទី3 គឺគាត់ផ្ដោតអារម្មណ៍ទៅលើភាពស្រដៀងគ្នាដែលគាត់មានដូចគ្នាទាំងពីរនាក់ហ្នឹង we discovered this shortly after we met several years ago. One day we were talking about vacation and we found we had both visited many of the same places. We immediately made a plan to go to a nearby historical city the following weekend. Okay, and the last paragraph number 4 is about the concluding sentence. Yeah, so in concluding sentence, the writer will try to restate the topic sentence or the thesis statement. Although we are quite different in many ways, Eva and I have become close over the years, and we now have a very special and enduring friendship. You see this one? The restate, the writer restate the thesis statement. So every time we get together, we always have so much to talk about and have the best time. One reason for this is that we share a love of travel and adventure. The other reason is that our differences complement each other, so we always get along well whenever we travel together. You see, so it's very good paragraph, right? So we start with the introduction, and at the end of introduction, you need to express the thesis statement, refer to the main idea, going to be discussed in the body paragraph. So you can divide a body paragraph at least 2, because you are going to talk about differences and similarity. You can talk about differences in many paragraphs, as many as you can. You can talk in differences for 2 or 3 paragraphs. That's okay if you have a lot of idea. And similarity is the same, right? Yeah, but at least as an essay writing, you need to have 4 paragraphs. You see, one is about introduction, and one is about differences, and another one similarity, and the last one concluding sentence. Okay, I hope that you get the point. So some students write me paragraph, so it's wrong, but I give them mark 5 or 6, depend on the idea they are trying to put through. So now I want you to study sample essay writing. So please take a look at the comparison between driving in Houston and driving in Effahan. Okay, so you can see the difference. Driving in Houston, wide street, and this one small narrow street, big cars, smaller cars, drivers follow rules to avoid accidents, drivers stay in lanes. So this one, no, people watch each other to avoid accidents, drivers don't always stay in lane. And so the overlap one focus on the similarity. So city driving street and intersections, cars, motorcycles, stop signals and stop lights. Okay, now move to the essay writing. So let us try to learn the sample essay writing, because it can give you the idea, right? It's help you to understand it very clearly. Okay. Okay, so look at the topic, bicultural drivers. Okay, we need to go through together to try to understand how the writer write introduction and then move to body and concluding sentence, concluding paragraph. Okay. So when I first moved to Houston, Texas, I was nervous about driving. The cars were huge and the streets were wide. I didn't want to get lost in a strange neighborhood, and I did not like going fast. Eventually, I got my American driver's license and became more comfortable with the strange city traffic. I learned to drive naturally in Houston and life got easier. However, I was very surprised when I returned to Iran after 3 years. I discovered that I was afraid to drive in Isfahan, my own hometown. I had forgotten that there are major differences between driving in the United States and driving in Iran. Okay, so you can see the general statement, and then the writers ended with the thesis statement below at the end of the introduction. You see, I had forgotten that there are major differences between driving in the United States and driving in Iran. Okay, move to the differences. Okay, the differences start with the way the streets are organized. In Esfahan, everything looks smaller. Many of the streets are narrow because they used to be alleys for walking. When buildings were torn down, city planners used the space to make room for cars, but there is still not very much room. Fortunately, the cars are usually smaller too, so they can fit in this smaller street. In Houston, the streets are very wide. Sometimes they have 6 lanes. There are special lanes for turning left and right. Even the traffic lights are bigger because they have a lot of arrows. These arrows give driver permission to make left turns. So the comparisons between the differences driving in Houston and in Esfahan. And move to another paragraph about the biggest different is the way the drivers behave in each place. Esfahani drivers pay attention to other driver but not the rules. Cars move from lane to lane so much that they look like fish driving to push their way down a river. When the traffic is not moving very fast, F&A drivers will go through a red light without stopping, and they do not wait for a light to make a left turn. While drivers honk at the car turning left, they are not surprised. These drivers do the same thing when they turn, so they know what to expect. In contrast to drivers in Esfahan, Houston drivers almost always follow the rules. They do not pay much attention to other drivers. Houstonians stay in their lane, use their signal when they want to change lane. They stop and wait for a turn signal or a green light. They always stop at the stop sign even when there are no other driver around. They are very surprised when other drivers do not follow the traffic rules. They get angry if they see other driver driving between lanes. So they try to contrast with each other, right? Differences and similarity. When I returned to Iran, I discovered that I had changed. I was more like a hostel driver. I was waiting for people to follow the signals, and I did not pay attention to other drivers. I almost got into an accident. However, after a couple of weeks, my old habits started to come back. I was able to drive F1 style once again. Now I feel proud that I am a bicultural driver. I know the language of the road in Iran and in the United States. I hope that you can get the point. And to get a better understanding of this, I leave another homework of writing an essay with you in the classwork. Okay, thank you.